Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mexico Now Festival podcast. My name is Ana Maria Willers, and I am an actress, writer, and producer from Mexico based in New York, and I will be your host. For our first episode, we have Claudia Norman. She is the founder of Mexico Now Festival. The festival is thrilled to celebrate its 20th anniversary from November 20 to 24 with 5 nights of music, photography, film, multimedia arts, and community celebration. Most events are free to attend with an RSVP and will take place at the festival's new hub for 2024, Chelsea Factory. Over the past 2 decades, Mexico Now Festival has provided a pivotal pipeline connecting Mexico and the United States arts and cultural communities. The festival has presented over 500 artists to audience of tens of thousands of New Yorkers, partnering with over 150 venues and cultural institutions throughout the 5 boroughs. Founded in 2004 by award-winning curator and producer Claudia Norman of CN Management, Mexico Now Festival is New York City's first and only independent festival spotlighting contemporary Mexican art and culture. To this day, Claudia remains the only major Mexican-born festival director in New York City. Her continuing goal is to share the rich ancient traditions and vital new ideas emerging in Mexico's vibrant art scene by showcasing Mexican and Mexican-American creators alongside U.S. artists who embrace Mexican culture.
Thank you so much for inviting me to your first podcast. It's an honor, and I'm very excited. Thank you.
Oh, the honor is all mine. How's the countdown going for the festival?
This is a very exciting process, a very exciting stage of the festival. Once everybody has confirmed, once everybody is in place, so now is the time to produce it, right? Here we are, and I'm very excited to connect it with you at this stage.
Congratulations on this 20th anniversary of the festival. Before we get into how the festival started and how it is today, I wanted to ask you some rapid fire questions to get to know you better. Which one is your favorite memory of Mexico Now Festival?
Well, I'm going to share with you one memory that embraces 20 years because it has been like a constant memory, and is just after all the work of producing, after the festival, after the artists came, after the audiences enjoy, is just to see that joy, that vibe, that combination of a community of artists, audiences, producers, the presentations, obviously, and then those cocktail receptions where everybody has more time to get deep into a conversation. And then seeing those audiences coming back, coming back the same year, like sometimes is audiences that they got, interest because of the film component. But when they see the quality of the each event, we invite them to just come back to if you haven't seen this group, like musical group, come. It's really good. You're gonna have enjoy as much as you enjoy the film or enjoy the literature program. So that is a memory pretty much that I have, as I said, that is happening year after year. Imagine 20 years of seeing people returning, because we have people who is returning every year, who have become like a really supporters of the festival. That is kind of like, I encapsulate that memory, which is a memory and a feeling, because you feel that it's intangible, right? But we all feel that. That's the memory. It's a place of belonging.
That's beautiful, and it's beautiful that the festival creates that type of community and of space for everyone. Talking about spaces, actually, in places, what is your favorite place in New York City?
Well, I love the ferry. My favorite place is just to take the ferry, and see the island as an island from when you are arriving, kind of like the
Yeah.
journey of the Ellis Island of the all immigrants when they arrive by boat, right?
Yeah.
To me, I love that place in New York. And once again, it's a place, but it's a feeling as well.
Yeah.
It's something that reminds you where you are.
Yeah, it's a very impactful place with very rich history that is just captivating to see.
Yes, yes.
And you mentioned that you grew up in Mexico City. So, what's your favorite place there in Mexico?
My super favorite place, obviously, is my mom's house.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So, but then recently I grew up there,
Hmm.
and my new love in Mexico City is Xochimilco. It's a place where, first of all, it's an Asian place, right? So it's
Hmm.
where pre-colonial settlers were there.
Hmm.
It's where traditions live there, and is where the future is there, which is water
Hmm.
and sustainable, forms of growing food, etc.
Yeah.
So it's I think throughout the years and my perspective of a Mexican living in an island called New York,
Yeah.
um, probably I find probably like that need
Mm.
of looking for other places, but also it's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's just it's a magical place. It's really magic. So, but
Yeah.
that's my favorite place. My mom's house and Xochimilco.
Xochimilco. That's
Yeah.
beautiful. And now moving a little on now to emerging artists. What is an emerging artist that you think everyone should know about?
This is a very subjective question because it's
Uh-huh.
like what is the
Yeah.
best emergent for me.
Hmm.
Not necessarily. I don't want to pretend to make the statement that this is it. Is somebody who has been building its own career
Hmm.
in the process of finding and discovering first that that's the way they want to go and the profession
Hmm.
that they want to follow. And I'm going to talk about one artist that I think I've been following,
Yeah.
and we had presented at the festival as an
Oh,
emerging
okay.
artist. So her name is Maya Burns.
Hmm.
She's a singer-songwriter. She's a multi-instrumentalist. She plays
Wow.
piano, saxophone, guitar, and I think to me she has an extraordinary. And I say that's my taste, right?
Yes.
Extraordinary songwriting skills. She has an
Mm.
incredible voice. So she's a very versatile artist in that sense.
Hmm.
And that's what I like. That's what I think is important to me to follow that. I've been also been following since the beginning because we present her at the festival, a filmmaker called Elisa Miller. Elisa,
Okay.
right at the beginning of the festival, we present her as a filmmaker. She was
Hmm.
recently graduating from film school, and her capstone per se,
Yeah.
her capstone won the Morelia International Film Festival, and then she
Whoa.
won her short film won Cannes. So
Oh
was
my God.
it was
Yeah.
crazy, and then we presented her at Mexico Now Festival, right?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, but she started her career as a filmmaker like huge, right? So
Yes.
so I've been following, and I recently saw her latest film, and it's so fantastic to see people growing and so on because Mexico Now is a multidisciplinary
Yes.
festival. So the idea is to present emerging artists. So as soon as we present them here, I love to see that journey, and I
Mm.
feel so proud when artists start growing. When you see that journey
Yeah.
going up to the hill. So
Yeah,
yeah, so
it's
that's
beautiful.
just to name a few. Yeah. Yeah, very
Amazing. I'm
special.
interested in looking both of them up. It seems like you have something that is like about authenticity that goes from like places to artists that connects it all, that is like resonant to you.
You know, one of the things that I think it has to do with the main goal and vision of Mexico Now Festival is that the festival is not about presenting the most famous Mexican artists, no,
Yeah.
or the music that is playing or has the major number of hits on, no, it's about that, not staying on the surface but going a little bit deep into what the artist is trying to say, try to accomplish, and once again being the platform,
Yeah.
Mexico Now being that, the festival being that platform for these artists to first have an audience, different audience, have the opportunity to present their work in a major cultural city like New York City, but then also for them to bring their projects to different audiences. Mexico Now audiences are from like Mexicans that moved to New York to
Yeah.
second generation Mexicans that their parents are the ones who are more familiar with some artists or names, and then the arts aficionados. So yeah, the idea is that we are a platform for those artists to present their work also to new audiences.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just to provide like local artists, Mexican artists or Mexican American artists or artists that they love Mexican culture,
Yeah.
the opportunity to have like a larger venue to present, or a festival backing up their presentation. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's been, but I mean, these questions about, oh my God, they are so, imagine we had presented over 500 artists and projects. So it's so hard to pick one,
Yeah.
but
No,
it's a challenging one.
because it's very challenging and it's a really big history of the festival. And as you said, it's like a platform for artists and for emerging artists, artists that are trying to find their voices and are trying to find what Mexican culture means to them. I want to retrace some steps as to how and why Mexico Now Festival started. Like, why was it born?
Okay. I I've been working in producing, presenting for more than 25 years.
Yeah.
So when I started my career, I kind of like was, my vision was to put myself as an audience, as somebody who would like to see and was willing to pay to see performances. But I was
Interesting.
but I was not seeing a lot of work that I wish I could see on those venues. I said like, wow, this is very interesting. And me being a Mexican, I decided to just approach it from a different way. And what I did was, okay, so I called for a meeting, and that's the beginning of Mexico Now.
Okay.
During my time at Arts International, I make a call to 60 cultural organizations in New York City, from the largest one, museum like the Guggenheim Museum, and
Okay.
to like middle size like Joe's Pub, to Lincoln Center, to community grass organizations that they were doing a lot of like the local presenting acts as well. So it was multidisciplinary call to cover theater and music and film. So 60 show up, and I just 3 questions. When was the last time that they heard of a contemporary Mexican artist doing some attractive work? When was the
Okay.
last time that they traveled to find out for that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And doing like a research field trip to learn about contemporary music scene,
Yes.
and what were they planning to do about it, so Mexico Now was born after seeing the necessity in New York City for spaces presenting contemporary work, and contemporary Mexican production, right? So the first festival, and you can see that on the website, we have on the website the past editions. The very first year in 2004, we have more than 100 events in the
Whoa.
lap of 1 month. So the second year, we said we had to assess the future of the festival, and
Mm-hmm.
definitely there was no future with such a big and overwhelming festival. So
Mm-hmm.
we decided to create this format of presenting a multidisciplinary festival, only one discipline per festival, no three
Okay.
events of the same discipline at the same time, that is
Yes.
not competing with ourselves. And the
Mm-hmm.
most important thing is that it was based since the beginning, based and organized in partnership with others. So
Okay.
that to me is a crucial for that.
Yes, it's really interesting that because a lot of Mexicans, as you were saying, moved to the US. So there's a lot of people that want to be close to their culture and people that want to expand to the culture that they're being so, immersed into their everyday lives that are New Yorkers originally. And all of that definitions just become to blur. And this festival holds space for that to be presented and just condensed, which is very interesting. So you were saying that like the festival, it changed just from the first edition to the second one very drastically. In which ways do you think the festival has evolved with the passage of time, and how would you define it today?
The festival from the first year to the second year, it was basically just the size of it.
I see.
Uh, but the essence was the same,
Mm-hmm.
which it was to find a place in the cultural landscape in, the New York City. And I think one of the, what we discovered is that we were talking about cultural identity, the Mexican cultural community, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the goals was to change this perception of Mexico, of Mexican culture, seen on a linear way, like defining only from one way, and that stereotype one way, right? So
Yes.
when you talk about contemporary artists, when you talk about New York, um, there was like a pretty much too many different Mexicos and Mexicans. So the
Mm-hmm.
idea was that this festival was precisely that. I said, I want this festival to be that window, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where audiences and even Mexicans living in New York could see other things that they never have access, and or they learned for the first time that was considered Mexican, right? Because it's
Yeah.
like, how do you find being a Mexican? So the programming and the festival since day one has as a goal to be as eclectic as any cultural could be, because to me being eclectic means being global. So that to me I think is something that keeps changing, because that's the other thing. It's eclectic and is moving and is changing day by day. It's not static. So when you say how has been evolved, my answer will be it keeps evolving.
Yeah,
We haven't
it
get to
evolves
any.
naturally.
Exactly. We haven't get from one point to the other. We are living that process as we
Yeah.
speak in 20 years.
You have been saying that this festival is not only for people who are in contact or in relation to Mexico and its culture that we have now somehow defined that it's very vast and very eclectic. Um, so my question is like, how do you think people that have never had a relationship with Mexico, their perception has changed through the festival?
Well, I think people get surprised when they
Mm-hmm.
find their connection to that
Oh.
culture or to that concert. And they
Mm-hmm.
always find people get like association, like it's like the subway, right? Mexico
Yeah.
now is the subway. You take a subway and then you have an experience right there when you see things that you have never seen before, and then
Mm-hmm.
you associate yourself with some or with others no, and then you like it or not, that's up to you. but
Yeah.
but you have the opportunity to explore.
Yeah.
You have it right there.
In this edition of the festival, they talk about climate change, Mexico and US border, rescue of the oral traditions, and the consolidation of the Mexican community in New York. Throughout all of these years and all of these expressions and all of these questions that artists bring to this platform, how have these topics and artist proposals have evolved and have impacted and informed the development of the festival, from the conceptualization to the presentations to the post-production of it?
I mean, the topics had been the same. If we look back 20 years from now, we are exactly at the same place in New York City. I'm talking about where we are in New York City, right? And the world. The topics that affects us as a humans living in this world has been the same. The immigration situation has changed from 20 years. Is we going back into the same? The environmental crisis is actually getting just worse, right?
Yeah.
But the problem is the same, but 20 years worse. you know. So
Yeah.
so basically, what is changing, and that's the beauty about it, is the voice and the elements that the artists use to express those concerns, because these are concerns, right?
Yes.
As a human being, as a conscious human being towards the future. So this year, because this is kind of like an important year, is like, as we look forward, I thought was important that all the presentations that the artists are covering are issues that they reflect the past, right? How has affect the current present, and how the commitment position towards a better future, you
I
know?
see. Yes.
So I think we are seeing it this time in a form of a book, a photography book.
Yes.
We're seeing them this time in a form of a multimedia presentation, right? But we have seen these topics and these themes in other ways as well.
Yeah.
So as I said, it's just, to me, is that opportunity. Hey, you want to see how things are going, how people are talking about environmental issues in Mexico City? Come to see Santiago Arau's book and reflection about it. Do you want to see what is the future of the border, which is nobody knows from a
Yeah.
political size, or like, so come and see this multimedia sonic essay, where you're gonna learn somebody who has done research, and it's an answer as an artist to that situation.
Yeah.
Where are we heading into the future? What we need to do? What is our position toward this thing? So Yeah, so and then also, and we have the opportunity just to have the fandango
Yes.
jarocho New Yorkino, no, that is
Mm-hmm.
very unique, very has very peculiar elements because is happening in New York and
Mm-hmm.
is built by people that are not only Mexicans but are people who love this music, who
Yeah.
love this sense of community, and they connect it. So yeah, with this idea of defining
Mm-hmm.
culture is an ongoing, it's like a work in progress, you
Yeah.
know.
We have said that in like the big scheme of things in these 20 years of the festival, it has impacted or it has go hand in hand with this transformation of life, right, in New York and in Mexico and everything. On a more specific level, and maybe going back to the beginning of the podcast, have you observed any changes in the artist's career or practice because they had the opportunity to present their work and be supported by the festival?
I mean, yes, that has been like a now that we are in a moment of looking back, you know,
Yeah.
we have seen that. We have seen that, yes, that huge effort as an independent
Mm-hmm.
festival to create
Yeah.
that platform for an artist to come or to present or have their New York premiere
Mm-hmm.
or to commission new work, and we do the fundraising, we go crazy, but we offer these opportunities. When you look back at that moment where that career was at, and how in some cases you can see it more clearly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In others is like you are just part of the journey, you know. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to like just, I mean,
Yes.
like I say that is like, oh yes, Mexico. No, 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 no. But when you see that we are part of that journey, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is part of like that journey that the artists had set for their own careers.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, is very. I think that justify why we keep going, because I promised myself for 20 years that I will never again doing this thing. So, and we are already doing it again for the 21st time, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, but I think those are the like satisfactions, but
Mm.
also when you prove that your mission and your values is of benefit to others. I think that's part of like the human nature, right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to do something that is good for others, you know.
Yeah.
You are not an isolated person. I believe that if we have to be a community, we
Mm-hmm.
have to partner, we have to collaborate, we have to exchange, and we have to support each other. So I'm not an artist, you know. I'm a creative producer, festival director, uh, you name it, right?
Yes.
And I love to be an audience, right? I
Mm-hmm.
enjoy going to concerts. I enjoy going to theater. I enjoy this as an audience. So, and when you see that is a lack of something, and you are feeling that a blank, that is that bridge, right?
Mm-hmm.
For see the circulation of work, you say yes. So part of that thing is like right now, 20 years later, so the amount of programming out there has grown. The
Yeah.
amount of Mexicans, new generation is
Mm-hmm.
coming. And that's something that is very important for us as we look back, we look towards the future, is like how we gonna renovate, how we gonna evolve. We're talking about evolving, how we
Yes.
gonna evolve in order to really that bridge that we build in that way probably has to be rebuilt or like
Mm-hmm.
redirect, because the needs, the conditions are totally different from
Yeah.
20 years, from 10 years, from 5 years. So anyway, here we are by our own, with the support of like collaborators, enthusiasts, and artists.
Mm-hmm.
More than anything, to artists, I just thank the artists to to find the resilience
Mm.
to keep going. that. And when you see that, you want to be part of that and support, and and enjoy it, and
Yeah.
enjoy that journey too.
Yeah, because it's something that, as we are like talking about evolving in community and how some things and some questions remain the same, resilience is something that we need to, um, like, be in constant share and for others. And it's really important for like us as audience members to be in those spaces where the artists are, um, like, doing that and holding that in their work, so they can impact us and we can continue evolving
Exactly.
and moving forward.
And that is not this generation, that this is the nature of cultural and
Yeah.
arts. Has been going on for many, many, many years.
So now I want to come back like to the present. And what are your expectations on how the people receive the festival this year?
Okay, so I think I invite all the
Mhm.
audience, Spanish or being Mexican. I invite everyone to come and enjoy an amazing programming. We have this year like incredible artists. As I say, it's a multidisciplinary, doing amazing work. Also, I invite you to have the opportunity to be in a wonderful space, in a very, very unique place in the heart of Chelsea, and and it's really beautiful. It's kind of like get a sense also of that history of New York, right? To get a sense of like how the transformation of the city keeps going. The place itself, the
Mhm.
Chelsea factory, is that, it was a
Yeah.
factory, and how the reuse and recycle of the spaces and reimagining is evolving in New York, which also
Mhm.
is, as the Mexican culture, New York City is incredible on how keeps reinventing itself, right? And finding
Yes.
in this tiny little island new neighborhoods, new spots, and Chelsea Factory is that. And then, the third thing is that you have to come, because we're gonna have incredible time, many celebrations. We're gonna have
Yes.
music. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be. We are throwing. I don't know. There is a saying in Spanish, que tirando la casa por la ventana is like we throwing the house through the window, meaning like
Yeah.
we are doing it, and we are doing it big.
Too big.
So you don't want to miss it. You want to come. All the events are for free. We are providing this opportunity. We are working super hard on doing fundraising for you audiences, just to come and enjoy, to support the artists, to support the community, and to join us as a part of the community. You are our community. We expect you from November 20 to the 24th, mexiconowfestival.org with more information. Uh, don't don't miss this one. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it.
No, it's a big one. It's the 20th anniversary and it's a celebration. So it will be beautiful and just everything that we need. Thank you so much, Claudia, for sharing everything, and for the festival. And thank you so much, everyone who listened, and hope to see you there from, as you mentioned, November 20 to 24 at the Chelsea Factory in New York. And for more information, go to the website of Mexico Now Festival and follow Mexico Now Festival on social media. Thank you so much for listening, and remember to check out the other episodes where I will be talking with the participants of this year's festival.